welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name's Andrew and I make content around productivity and self-improvement. If you're subscribed, thank you very much and welcome back to the channel. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different video. Usually I am sitting on my couch in the living room and the video's edited and I'm talking about certain techniques and stuff. But I want to start a new video series. I'm still going to be doing those videos, don't worry. But I want to actually start doing more videos about just talking about general life and also being a lot more transparent about who I am. Because I realized, I'm making a bunch of videos about certain tips and stuff, but you guys have no idea who I am, right? I'm just a random kid who's just sharing tips, right? So I kind of was thinking about this, watching Iman Gadzi's older videos where he took vlogs everywhere and stuff, and he was super transparent with his subscribers and people knew who he was. And so I'm not going to be doing a bunch of vlogs and stuff, but I do want to just talk a little bit more about who I am. And no, I'm not going to be here's my whole life story, but I just want to, I don't know, all you know is my name's Andrew and I'm 17, so yeah. So I hope you're going to do one of these videos each week. Probably just going to be this background. This is just in my room. But yeah, so my name's Andrew. I'm 17 years old. I was born and raised in Alberta, Canada. Alberta is a province of Canada, and I was living, since I was 2 years old, I was living in Spruce Grove with my family, which is a tiny city near Edmonton. Edmonton's the capital of Alberta. I was born in BC, which is British Columbia. That's a different province of Canada. Anyway, so born there, I was homeschooled there until I was 14. And then at 14 years old, my family moved to Portugal because my parents were done with the cold. If you live in Canada, you know that, the temperature can get up to minus negative 40. There was even one year where it was really cold for 2 weeks and we didn't check the mail for those 2 weeks, and my sister and I dressed up in our jackets and took a bag and we filled it up with all the mail that was in the mailbox a street down from our house, because it was so cold that we don't want to go any of the other days. Anyway, so that's why my parents moved, because it's warmer in Portugal. And so yeah, I've been in Portugal for 2 years, I think, now. A lot of things have happened since then. But yeah, on this channel, I mostly talk about productivity and self-improvement. So my self-improvement journey, in terms of what people say self-improvement is these days, I'm talking about Gen Z self-improvement, all those people reading books and doing meditation and all those things. Anyway, so I kind of started back in 2022 when we moved to Portugal, and I actually credit my mom for this. If she happens to be watching this, thank you. But she actually introduced me to podcasts, and this is partly because I was kind of bored. We were in this rental in Portugal before we found this house. So yeah, I was kind of bored, and she introduced me to It's a Good Life by Brian Buffini, which is kind of a podcast for realtors, but also personal development and stuff. I'd say it's a little more for adults. I don't know. I think he's 60 or something like that. Maybe not, maybe 50. I don't know. But either way, I started listening to that and I was Brian Buffini's my man. I'm going to listen to all of these episodes. And I did. I caught up on all the episodes. I'm no longer caught up because I don't listen to him as much. But yeah, that kind of got me started. And then it started snowballing, right? I started finding other podcasts. I started listening to All It Takes Is a Goal by John Acuff. Still very good podcast. I don't listen to it much, but it was really useful. I started listening to the Ramsey Show highlights. Dave Ramsey is this big financial advisor, I guess, in the US. And I started reading books, right? So I read uh, Go Giver by Bob Burnham. I think that's the author's name. I read On Fire by John O'Leary. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Stout by John Acuff. Just a few books that like kind of started me into this journey of like just learning all those kind of personal development things, I guess. I don't know what to call that. But yeah, so that was kind of 2022, 2023. It was like late 2022 and 2023. And then in 2024, it was like the biggest year I've had so far in terms of self-improvement and personal growth. I read over 80 books. I listened to hundreds of podcast episodes. I started watching Ali Abdaal, started watching Iman Ghazi. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I started this YouTube channel in 2023, I believe. And you know, it's funny, just a quick side note, is if you look at the average, like when people get certain amounts of subscribers, I'm like way behind. That's okay. I don't really stress too much about that. But it took me a year and a half to get to 100 subscribers. And then from 100 to 200 subscribers, it took me 3 months. And 200 subscribers to 300 subscribers took me 1 month. So if you're subscribed, thank you so much. You know, because you didn't really know who I was. Like I never really said any of this stuff. Like I actually can't believe like 300 people like watch my things and are like, oh, you know, this guy has something to say, and they subscribed. So thank you so much. But yeah, that's kind of who I am. In 2024, since that was the past year, so you know, I'm not really going to talk about before then because it's kind of useless. I accomplished some of my goals. I might as well. That's the thing. I want to be way more transparent, right? And so, probably when you see a video with like this background, like a long form video, it's going to be one of these type of videos, and it's just going to be talking about my goals, kind of talking about where I am, and general life advice. Anyway, so I have my 2024 goals here. I'm just going to make sure this is still recording. Okay, good. I've had times where like the iPhone just runs out of storage and it's like, no. So, yeah. 2024 goals, make income through saved. Saved is like what I kind of called this whole YouTube channel thing a while back, like a long time ago, before I even hit 100 subscribers. But yeah, make income through saved. That didn't happen, unfortunately. Learn 600 plus Danish words on Memrise. Memrise is like this learning language app. That one I definitely finished. I ended up learning 619. And that was more just like learning it on the apps. I don't know if I actually know like 619 more words now in Danish. But I've been like, I started learning Danish, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I definitely am not taking it as seriously as I want to, because like, I don't know, I can read, I cannot really understand like if a native speaks, because I can like look up YouTube videos of native speaking. That's really hard for me to understand because they speak really fast, and their pronunciation is pretty interesting. But reading I can actually understand a bit. So yeah. I also had listened to 52 plus books. That one obviously I finished. I read over 80 books. And then listened to all of Deep Dive, which is the podcast by Ali Abdaal. That I did not finish. That was just kind of, I kind of like set that in the middle of the year. I was never really motivated to do it. I didn't even really try. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I don't have a job. Right now, I'm technically not in school. The whole school thing's kind of confusing because in Canada, specifically in Alberta, the provinces have different rules and regulations, but in Alberta, I can technically be done school. At 16, you can decide to be done school. So I am done school. I don't actually have the certificate, grade 11, grade 12, or whatever. In 2024, in June, I started pursuing a bachelor's in business administration from this online university based out of Germany, but I was doing it here. Really good university, but I realized that it was kind of the wrong time to be doing this. It was not necessarily hard, but it was taking up a lot of my time. So 5 months later, I dropped out. So yes, I am a university dropout or whatever. But that's okay, the book's made up for it. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know, this video is getting kind of long. But 2025 is here, it's a new year. I set a bunch of new goals. One of them is read or listen to 100 plus books. I count audiobooks. I love listening to audiobooks. Maybe you don't get as much out of them, but you can listen to them faster than reading. So yeah, read 100 plus books. Bike 150 plus times. The regulation for that is just it has to be over a kilometer. Run 52 times. Again, it has to be over a kilometer each time. What else? I believe a certain amount of hours spent on the YouTube channel and things related to the YouTube channel. I just call it YouTube growth. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a website related to this. It could be the Discord server that I'm sort of trying to start, which you can sign up, by the way, the link in the description. There's not really many people, but hopefully there will be eventually. But yeah, all those things kind of count. So a certain amount of hours for that. I forget, I think it's 350 hours. But yeah, I'm focusing a little more on exercise this year, because to be honest, kind of skinny. And again, I'm being fully transparent. Okay, this is a self-improvement channel, and so that's what self-improvement people talk about. I don't know. But yeah, where do I want to go? Well, I want to finish my 2025 goals. One of my main one that I didn't mention yet is I want to move to Canada. So, as I said, I'm in Portugal right now. I want to move back to Canada. Long story, I was lazy, and honest, I was actually pretty lazy in learning Portuguese. I do not know that much Portuguese. So yeah, no, I'm not going to make up any excuse. I was actually just lazy. And now it's been 2 years. I don't have a job because I haven't really looked for a job. I applied to a few places. Either they said you have to be 18 or you have to know more Portuguese, right? And I always get a little burst of motivation, I'm going to start learning Portuguese, start a new plan. I don't know, never seems to work. I know I can learn Portuguese, but at this stage, I'm going to be turning 18 in October. I'm thinking of just moving back to Canada. And when I'm in Canada, I'm going to try to find a job right away. And then I'm not really sure, I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do. I would love to do YouTube for my life, but I don't know. I don't think any of my family thinks that I could do that. I believe I could do that, but we'll see. I was thinking of actually maybe becoming a trucker in Canada. I think it would actually be really cool. But for that, I need to get a bunch of licenses. So that's why I'll move back there, get a job as fast as I can. My job will be finding a job when I move there. Really, any job. I'm not just a minimum wage. It doesn't matter. I'll do my best with that, try to be a good employee. Should probably not be too hard. But yeah, and then using the money that I make from that, I'll just be taking driving lessons, probably try to get the highest license eventually, which will take a few years. That's Class A, I believe, in Alberta, where you can drive anything besides a motorcycle. But yeah, and then maybe become a trucker. I don't know. We'll see where life takes me. I think that's going to be it for this video. I don't want it to go too long. If you watched to the end, thank you so much. Like, I don't know if anyone's watching to the end. But either way, I'm going to be doing these videos more often because I want to be a lot more transparent about, what I'm doing, what my goals are, where I am at my goals. Because I can make these videos called like, 3 tips to accomplish your goals. But, if you don't know that I'm working on goals or if I'm actually accomplishing goals, how do you know that those 3 tips will work, right? But, now you kind of know, if I make book recommendations, it's obviously because I read it. I read over 80 books this year. If I'm talking about goals, well, I've accomplished goals. So, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of it for this video. Thanks so much for watching.